So let's welcome our first Hall of Famer. He was an All-American wide receiver, an All-Conference receiver. He led his team to the Lambert Cup in 1980. Bob Betts, everybody. Bob Betts.
Well, I brought a cheat sheet just in case, but it's the first cheat sheet I've ever used at Clarion. Drag.
Well, we'll start with an easy one then. Hopefully you won't need the cheat sheet for this one. Bob, you had sort of a unique story of how you came to Clarion, as many of our student athletes do. What brought you here to Clarion?
Really, it was Coach Jack's. They needed a punter, and I was a decent punter in high school, and he said I had a real good opportunity. Actually, the punter was Bob Beatty, and he was the quarterback, and Coach Jack's didn't want him doing the punting. So Bob and I didn't get along real well because he didn't want to give up the punting job. But then he was my quarterback, so we had to work it out, and we did.
Now, as I recall you saying, you weren't heavily recruited out of high school, and some of that had to do with the style of offense your team played in high school.
Yeah, offense, if that's what you want to call it. But we had a very successful high school program, Gateway, and it was kind of like the old Green Bay Packers. We'd run right, we'd run left, and then on third down, if we had a third and long, we were in our own territory, we would punt. Because our coach was afraid of having an interception. I did catch every pass that was thrown to me. The problem is it was only one. So yeah, I had one catch in high school, so I wasn't terribly highly recruited.
Well, your dad was the defensive coordinator, is that right?
He was.
Were you a classic coach's kid?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. He was, I grew up in the gym and on a football field. Really, sports is really all I knew, at a young age. So in basketball season, I played basketball, football, and baseball. So, yeah.
You came from a really talented high school program. Did that make the transition to the college game? Did that make it easier, or was there a bit of a learning curve?
No, actually it did, because when I got to Clarion, I really started to appreciate what I learned at Gateway. Even though I didn't do much, I was prepared to play football, and I felt like I was kind of ahead of some of the freshmen once I got up here, just because of the experience I had at Gateway.
Bob, I think one of the moments from your career that a lot of people remember was the touchdown you caught against Central State in the final seconds, tipping the ball to yourself. What do you remember about that play?
Well, I wish we had a replay of it, because I really don't. It was, but the thing is, it was a drive. We got the ball. There was probably 2 minutes to go, and we were probably on our 20-yard line. So we had to run 3 or 4 plays just to get to midfield. And we did, and it was the last play. And Drag and we'd run that, fly pattern for 2 or 3 years. And he let it go. And I do remember 2 guys from Central State kind of colliding and the ball being in the air. And I'm standing there. I look at the referee, and he goes like that. So that was, but I was worried because the first guy to hit me was a lineman, Beef, Tom Wysick. He hits me, and he knocks me over, and all I can see is his jersey, and I'm thinking, was he downfield? Would you have a legal man downfield? Is this thing going to work? But it stood up, and it made a long ride home a little shorter.
You were part of some really special teams when you were here, and one of the things I always want to get the impression of from different athletes when they play, did you realize what you were doing was so special? You came in as part of a big legacy of success at Clarion.
I didn't really. I was just having fun. I really was. It was a great experience. I was obviously hungry because of the lack of success in high school. So I enjoyed every minute of it.
You mentioned Coach Jacks earlier, and you said that he had a big influence on your life. Could you talk a little bit more about what he's meant to you?
He was probably my biggest fan up here, other than my family. But he was always in my corner, gave me every opportunity, and I really appreciate the fact that I got to play up here. Because after high school, I didn't know if I was going to play football, and I really didn't. And got up here and found out I could do it. So, but I give Coach Jacks a lot of credit for that.
All right, you can bust the cheat sheet out now. How about you, you go ahead and you tell us, is there anybody here you'd like to thank this evening?
Well, Rich Herman, for one, he was his first year as SID was 1980, and we won. We had a really good team that year. But just Rich's dedication to Clarion for 35 years and promoting Clarion athletics and athletes outside of the Clarion community. Like even when this honor was announced, I was getting calls from people in Erie that were reading articles about it. And I think that was because, I don't know if it was you or Rich, but just blast emailing. I got a call from a guy from the Tribune Review in Pittsburgh that wanted to know about it. So you guys do a great job.
Thank you. Is there anybody else you want to thank?
Just my family, my lovely family. My 3 children, Brandon, Francesca, and what's the other one's name? Nolan. I'm just so proud of them and thankful for them and their accomplishments and what they're going to accomplish. And my beautiful wife, Paulette, who's been she's been an amazing mother to our children and the best partner I could possibly ask for. Our friend Jackie Flanagan Holt, who's in attendance, always asks me, do you know how lucky you are? And I do. I'm very lucky.